I'm here to give you some info and tips on presenting at the annual UBRP Conference. So I hope this helps you in getting ready for our upcoming event. First of all, make sure that you stay tuned to your email for event details. I'm going to be sending you information about when you're presenting and where, as well as more information. So please check your email for that. You should make sure to invite your guests. So make sure your research mentor is invited, as well as your lab mates, friends, and family. We really want to have as many people there as possible. And it's a great opportunity for you to share your research. So please invite away. And you can refer people to the UBRP website to RSVP. And last but not least, make sure that you have your poster printed well in advance. 3 days is usually what the turnaround is for different printing companies, but I would actually make sure, if at all possible, you get it done sooner than that. So, all right. Now, the UBRP conference, to let you know, is actually going to be a very broad audience, maybe the most broad one that you ever present to. So the people who are going to be there are going to range quite a bit. There's going to be people who are your peers. There's going to be faculty mentors, professors, scientists. We do invite people from local biotech companies to come visit, as well as elected officials. So you might see some state legislators, administrators here from the U of A and staff. We've had people from the media show up before. So it could be anybody. It's a very, very broad audience. And it's also an event that's open to the public, so anyone can come. So in light of that, I would suggest that you work with your faculty mentor to develop different versions of a short presentation. Probably 2 versions is good. I would say 1 version for someone who's science savvy, like maybe a presentation that you would give to a professor or to like a graduate student in science, somebody like that. And I would also suggest that you do prepare a presentation for someone who is a total layperson, like maybe your grandmother, that kind of thing. That way you have different options that you can use. Analogies are really great, especially for people who are not very familiar with science. So if you can think of a good, clear analogy to an everyday object or an everyday process, that will help others to understand what your research is about. Okay, so some general tips. As I mentioned, you don't know when a person shows up at your poster who they're going to be. They could be pretty much anyone. So along those lines, especially if this is your first time presenting, here's some suggestions for how you can approach a person when they're standing in front of your poster. The first option I call the self-guided tour. This would be if you just simply invite the person to check out your poster. You say, hi, take a look at my poster. I'm happy to answer any questions you have or to give you, a short presentation on my project. And then let them go. Just give them time to read. Some people will respond to that and will ask you questions. Other people will be just happy to read and walk off. That is okay. Don't take that personally at all. People are just different in the way that they absorb information. And of course, there's going to be many posters there. So don't take it personally if people are just reading and then walking. The second option too is, I think, a little more engaging. I call it the guided tour version, where basically you can say hi to your visitor and then you can ask questions to find out what their background is. So as a total example, you can say, hi, my research is about how genetics works in corn plants. I'm trying to do this to figure out kind of how to improve agricultural processes and growing corn. Are you familiar with this, or do you have an interest in it? And how they respond will give you a sense of how you can proceed. So they might be like, oh, all I know about corn is that I eat corn on the cob. Or you might get a response of like, oh, hey, I also research XYZ gene in a very similar plant, blah, blah, blah. Then you have a sense of how to proceed. Couple other general tips. Try to keep things conversational if you can. We do want you to prepare and to practice a presentation, but keep in mind, this is a poster session. It's not a lecture. It's not a seminar. So you're not there just to talk at people. People do appreciate having some time to absorb what you're saying, especially if it's new to them, and to ask questions. So, you can engage people, but keep in mind, a lot of this is very conversational. So a way that you can kind of get that conversational ball rolling is you can present your research in what I call a drill down fashion. So you can just give a very broad, short overview of your research, like 1 minute, maybe 2. Just, this is the big picture research question that my lab is investigating. My project focused on this thing. We ran these experiments, these types of experiments to see if it would work. And in general, we found this, and this is why it's significant. And that's just a nutshell. You can just say, this is a nutshell. broad overview of what my project was, just to give you kind of an introduction to my poster and to my research. But I would love to know if you have any questions. What questions do you have? And then see what they say. And last but not least, I want to encourage you to be confident, because with the exception of your mentor and maybe some of your mentor's colleagues and the people who are in your lab, there's going to be hundreds of people there, but you're going to know more about your topic than probably anyone else in the room. So be confident about that. A lot of students are worried if they get some question that they don't know the answer to. It's okay to be nervous. This is kind of a normal thing, but you don't have to be. As far as if you get that question, then you can just say, I don't know. It's okay to say, I don't know. And you can follow up. You can say, I don't know, but like, let me think through it. It could be this or that, or like this could happen or that could happen. So you could kind of postulate a response. Or you can just say like, I don't know, but I'd be happy to ask my mentor about this, and I'd be happy to get back to you with an answer. If you want to give me your email address, I'll follow up with you. And you know, they may take you up on it, they may not, but that's a perfectly fine way to answer that question. All right. Okay, so that all brings us to the day of the conference. So a couple things. Number one, make sure you dress right. We have business casual dress code. Number two, don't forget your poster, obviously. And number three, arrive on time. Please do try to be on time. We always need some extra time to help get the posters actually posted up on the poster boards, getting name tags out and things like that. So please be on time. Number four, do plan to stay for the entire time of the conference. It is a fun time. Participate in the keynote talk. It should be really interesting. Once you have your poster session, obviously you're going to present, but then there'll be a time when you won't be presenting, so you should check out your peers' research posters as well. And then make sure to stay through the end, because we also have recognition and some closing remarks too. And fifth, but not the least, have fun. This is a great time for you to share the work that you've done, the very hard work that you've done, to a lot of people out there. And honestly, every year when I talk to students, a lot of them are nervous about presenting at the conference, but when they're into it and they're doing it, they say that it's like the most awesome thing ever. So I hope you have a good time. If you have any questions, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, I will see you there. Thanks.